Everyone, welcome to the webinar hosted by the League of American Bicyclists and Partnership for a Healthier America. My name is Amelia Neptune, and I am with the League of American Bicyclists, and in a moment we'll be hearing from Lisa from Partnership for a Healthier America. All attendees should be muted, but you are welcome to submit questions at any time throughout the presentation, either by typing them into the chat box or the questions box, and we will take questions at the end. So to get us started about the League of American Bicyclists, we were founded in 1880 as the League of American Wheelmen, and our original goal was to help advocate for the first paved roads in America, fighting for the rights and responsibilities of bicyclists all across the United States. And today we are proud to continue with that mission to lead the movement to create a bicycle-friendly America for everyone, and we do this through a variety of programs. From equity to education. We host National Bike Month and the National Bike Summit every year. This summer is the National Bike Challenge. And one particular program that I work on is the Bicycle Friendly America program. Through the Bicycle Friendly America program, we certify states, communities, businesses, and universities as being bicycle friendly. And today, obviously, I'm here to talk to you about the Bicycle Friendly University program. The Bicycle Friendly University program is an evaluation, recognition, feedback, and assistance-based program where we help colleges and universities become more bicycle friendly, and we recognize them and evaluate them for the things that they are already doing to be bicycle friendly. The benefits of being a bicycle-friendly university are many, from recruitment to safety to economics, sustainability, community relations, and an overall higher quality of campus life. Many campuses are embracing being bicycle friendly for a variety of different reasons, and it's always exciting to hear those different reasons from the colleges and universities that we work with. But these are the core reasons, and we'll hear more about the health-related benefits later on in the presentation. So the Bicycle Friendly University program, because it's an evaluation of what you're already doing, it's completely voluntary and opt-in, in that any school that wants to be evaluated can submit an application online. And thanks to the generous support of Trek Bicycles, the application fee for a Bicycle Friendly University is waived. So it's a completely free program right now, including the feedback you receive from us, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. The link that you see on the webinar right now is to more information about our Bicycle Friendly University program, and you can find the online application there. It's very simple to create an account and access the application. We also can send you a Word version of the application, so if you are looking to collaborate with colleagues or have interns helping out, that's a great way to start out on your application is on a Word document version before you submit the online version, and that's something that you're welcome to contact me if you're looking for. We have 4 different award levels after we've evaluated your application: platinum, gold, silver, and bronze. And here on the screen, you can see the different numbers of awardees for each of these levels. So you can see that it is quite competitive to get up to the platinum and gold levels. And then, as I mentioned, we provide feedback to absolutely everyone who applies. Even if you don't get an award, you will get feedback from us. And even if you are a platinum level school, you will get feedback from us. The feedback is quite detailed, and it's based entirely on the answers in your application, but it also includes responses that we receive through surveys from students, staff, faculty, and local bicycle advocates in your community. Schools regularly tell us that this is a valuable part of the process for them, and these feedback reports are meant to offer guidance and technical assistance to help you improve no matter where in the process you are. We have an online award database where every school that has received the award is noted on the map here, and at the link on the screen, if you go there, you'll see that you can click on any state and see the list of bicycle-friendly universities, along with bicycle-friendly communities and businesses in that state. And you can also see how each of the 50 states rank in our bicycle-friendly state program. The interactive online award database also has additional information about the different schools that have received the award. So it's a great way to learn about some of your peer colleges and universities. So since the Bicycle Friendly University program started in 2011, we've had 6 application cycles, 129 institutions have applied, and 75 awards have been designated nationwide. Of those 75 universities that have received the BFU designation, 58 of them are top-tier colleges and universities ranked by U.S. News and World Report, and we're very proud of the list of schools that we have on the Bicycle Friendly University program. Absolutely any type of campus in the United States is eligible to apply, whether you're public or private, a community college, a suburban campus, a satellite campus, as long as you have a physical presence. And if you have more than one campus, we just ask that you only submit one application per campus. There is one deadline per year to submit an application, and the next deadline is coming up next month on August 6th. And awards for that deadline will be announced in October. We're aiming for Campus Sustainability Day as the day to announce those awards. And every school that receives an award must renew their designation every 4 years. And that's our way of making sure that you are continuing to work to improve and continuing the great momentum that you had that got you the award in the first place. However, if you receive an award, a bronze award 1 year, and you make great improvements in shorter than 4 years, you are welcome to reapply sooner than 4 years. So we require that everyone renews every 4 years, but you are welcome to renew at any point if you think you have improved and would like to move up in the program. The criteria that we use to evaluate bicycle-friendly universities are known as the 5 E's, and those are engineering, education, encouragement, enforcement, and evaluation and planning. I'll go into detail about each of these categories right now. So engineering includes a lot of the very obvious infrastructure on your campus: bike lanes, shared use paths, bicycle boulevards. Also, whether you have a policy such as a complete streets policy or bicycle accommodation policy. Bike parking is a very important one, and we look at both quality and quantity of bicycle parking. So that means, does your bike parking adhere to national guidelines for security and safety? Do you have a good ratio of bike parking to students on campus? Do you have covered bike parking and protected, highly secured bike parking, for example? Also in the engineering category, we ask whether or not, if you have buses on campus, if bikes are allowed on buses or trains, or if there's facilities to racks on buses, for example, to hold bikes. How you accommodate bicycles at intersections, if you have intersections with lights, what kind of traffic calming and connectivity you have on campus, and this can include your speed limits, the types of streets you have on campus, and so on. End of trip facilities includes things like showers and lockers, whether you have free facilities available to staff and faculty in addition to students who already live on campus. Maintenance stations, bike fix-it stations, and so on. Education is the next category. And for this, we look at things like what kinds of classes you offer, bicycle safety classes. We at the League have an education program and a certification program for people to become certified instructors, League certified instructors. And we have an LCI seminar, League Cycling Instructor Seminar, and specific classes with curriculum that we offer that are really thorough and very useful for learning rules of the road and also the safest practices on the road. There are also a variety of local programs that offer classes. So if you don't have an LCI on staff on campus, there might be a local advocacy organization that offers bicycling skills classes, traffic skills, or commuting classes. Maintenance classes are also a really important tool to offer to bicyclists on your campus. So basic things like how to fix a flat tire all the way up to how to build a bike. And those, again, can be offered if you have a bike center on campus. That's a great fit to offer maintenance classes through your bike center. If you don't have such a center on campus, partnering with a local bike shop to offer those classes. And even as simple as a basic workshop, that's available for people to walk up to at a public space on your campus. We also look at academic courses, whether you're offering any kind of bicycle and pedestrian planning courses or public health courses that relate to bicycling, and then finally physical education classes such as cycling. Other categories under education include having an ongoing education campaign, or specific orientation for incoming students and employees, talking about bicycling on campus and making sure that they are aware of all the resources that exist on your campus for bicyclists. Motorist training for professional drivers on your campus, whether they're delivery drivers or facilities drivers, making sure that they understand how to safely share the road with bicyclists. Having a diversion program for any bicyclist who gets a ticket on their bike. A diversion program is an opportunity where rather than paying the fine associated for that ticket, they could opt into taking a educational class on bike safety and have the fine either reduced or have it go away completely. That's a great opportunity to educate a large part of your campus. And we've seen it as a highly successful program on the campuses who are using it. Educational events such as a safety open house, as you can see on the photos here, and then materials, print and online, having a website dedicated to cycling, both rules of the road, educational safety information, but also just resources, a map of all the bike shops around your campus, a list of places where bike parking is available. That type of thing is also included under education. Encouragement is the next category, and this includes bike sharing or rental or loan system. This is a category that really varies from campus to campus. If you're in a highly urban area, like Georgetown here, you'll see on the screen, has Capital Bike Share on their campus. But if you're not in an urban area, having a rental system or a loan system or a campus-specific bike share program, and even an unregulated program like the Yellow Bikes Project, for example, where bikes are available on campus and people can pick them up and ride them for free and drop them off somewhere else. There is a lot of new exciting technology that makes bike sharing more feasible on campuses, and so this is a growing area of opportunity for campuses to take advantage of. A bicycle center or co-op, again, this can be a place where classes can be offered. It can also be a place where advocacy on campus can be centered around. Student groups can meet there. And on that topic, student groups is another category we look at for encouragement. And this can include a racing team, a bike polo club, a advocacy organization, or just a group of students who absolutely love bikes and act as bicycle ambassadors on campus, for example. Events such as Bike to Work Day, Bike to School Day. We've seen some really creative signature events on different campuses like bicycle proms. And those types of encouragement events bring new people in, get new people engaged with bicycling, and it's a really great way to encourage new riders and also connect existing riders to each other to foster that community. Recreational facilities on campus, making sure that people have a space to do different types of bicycling. And then similar to under education, having things like bicycle maps available so that anyone who is interested in learning where they can bike on campus has a great resource to know how to do that and where to do that. Enforcement is the next E. And for enforcement, we look at things like bike registration, theft prevention and education, what percentage of your police are patrolling on bicycles, free helmet and light giveaways or even subsidized helmets and lights through the police, making sure that the police are trained on bicycle laws and safety and best practices regarding bike safety, and having equitable policies for bicycles on campus. And that includes things like a safe passing distance law, a no texting while driving law, and on most campuses, these policies already exist at the city level or even the state level. So the university itself doesn't need to have its own policy necessarily, but enforcing those existing city or state or other policies is still worth noting on the application and will still earn you points. Evaluation and planning is the fifth and final E. And for this, we include a comprehensive bicycle master plan as probably the most important item in this category, which is really taking a step back and looking at all 5 E's, but usually bicycle master plans focus on the infrastructure primarily, and thinking through where the campus is headed in the future, setting goals for increasing ridership and accommodating that increased ridership, and looking at all the infrastructure on campus and how it can improve over time. This is also an important first step in creating a budget and appealing for funding. And often schools who are just starting to think about accommodating bicycles on their campus, this is a really good process to go through with the help of a bicycle advisory committee and full-time staff on bicycle initiatives. So you'll see both of those items on this list as well. Bicycle counts and data collection is really important for benchmarking and for knowing how you're doing as you make these improvements and tracking your success and in being able to accommodate new riders. Crash analysis and reduction plans, having a plan for reducing crashes at specific locations on campus where you might see trends in certain types of crashes, for example. Conducting surveys on satisfaction, understanding what the needs and desires of your existing and potential cyclists are, and recognizing that there might be a lot of people out there who want to bike but might not feel comfortable or safe doing so yet, and understanding what those barriers are and how the campus can break down those barriers and make bicycling a reality for more people. And then finally, dedicated funding is a very important part of all of this. Once you have a bicycle master plan, you will need funding to implement it. And both of those are 2 separate items that we'll ask about on our application. So once you have grasped these 5 E's, knowing where to start, now that you know the criteria for awards, you know about the 5 E's, and you might know you're doing certain things in certain of these categories, and you're not sure where that gets you as far as our award levels. So in order to get any level of award, you need some activity or effort in all 5 of the categories. To earn a bronze level, in addition to having some activity in all 5, you must be excelling at any one of those categories, and this can be literally any one of those categories. Now, the reason this is so flexible is because we recognize that every campus is different, and not every campus will have access to the same resources or even have the same needs. What makes sense for one campus won't necessarily make sense at another. So creating a system that allows us to evaluate more broadly and looking at these categories rather than specific line items within the categories. So for bronze, excelling at any one of the 5 categories. For silver, excelling at 2 to 3 of the categories. And again, any one of the 2 to 3, it will be different from school to school. For gold, excelling at any 4 of the categories. And for platinum, excelling at all 5 of the categories. And again, I emphasize here that what excelling looks at will really vary from school to school, depending on your size, depending on your location, depending on the resources that you have available. And we take that into account. We have a team of people who evaluate the applications, and in addition to all the different checkboxes on the application where you can say, yes, I am doing this, there are also a lot of opportunities to fill in text boxes to say, here are the additional things we're doing. Here are the new innovative practices that we're testing out on our campus. And you will get points for those things too. So if it's not on the application, please brag about it anyway and tell us what you're doing, because those are the really exciting parts of the application, is to see all the innovative new things that schools are trying out. And it also helps us to expand our application over time as we see new trends of schools picking up new ideas. We can add that as a checkbox for the next application round. So to begin, we have a lot of really great resources on our website, and if you're not sure if you're ready to apply or not, we have a quick assessment on our website, which is a very quick set of check boxes, and a little pop-up box will appear to tell you whether you are ready to apply or not. And you can also find that at the link on this page. This is our university's homepage, and there are a lot of different resources and FAQs and information about the application process on this website. So I encourage anyone who is new to the process to really dig in, and feel free to contact me if you have any additional questions. We also have some printed materials. This is the cover of our brochure. If you are not affiliated with the university and you want to get the university to start thinking about this, or even if you do work for the university and you need some help convincing the administration to invest in bicycle facilities, or if you are trying to figure out where on campus um, to start to look for partners to submit an application and create a bicycle master plan. We have, in addition to the Bicycle Friendly University application resources, we also have some PowerPoint presentation templates and slides and talking points that can help you if you're trying to bring new stakeholders on board. So please do feel free to check out our website and go through those resources. They're all available for free, again, thanks to Trek Bicycles. And we're always looking to expand those resources. So feel free to contact me if you have any questions or can't find something. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to the friendly folks at Partnership for a Healthier America.
Thank you. So good afternoon, everyone. As Amelia mentioned, now we're going to transition to talking about the Partnership for a Healthier America's Healthier Campus Initiative. And before I get started, just a friendly reminder to type any questions into the chat box, and we will answer them during the Q&A period. So my name is Lisa Crichton, and I'm the Director of Strategic Initiatives at the Partnership for Healthier America. And I'm also joined here with my colleague, Sarah John, who's the Coordinator for Strategic Initiatives, and she'll jump on during the Q&A portion of the presentation. So before I dig into the details of our Healthier Campus Initiative, I wanted to provide a little background about PHA and what we do here. So PHA is a nonpartisan, nonprofit organization that works with the private sector to develop meaningful commitments that help make the healthy choice the easy choice for parents and families. Our organization was launched in 2010 in conjunction with, but separate from, the First Lady's Let's Move initiative. First Lady Michelle Obama serves as our honorary chair, and Cory Booker and Bill Frist serve as our honorary vice chairs. Although we are separate organizations, PHA and Let's Move do share a common goal, and that is to solve the childhood obesity crisis within a generation. PHA supports this goal by encouraging, tracking, and communicating commitments to healthier lifestyles from our partners. Now, the next slide you'll see demonstrates a big picture overview. Just wait for the next slide. Yep. The next slide you'll see here demonstrates a big picture overview of the childhood obesity epidemic and some of the ways that PHA is working to develop solutions. As many of you are probably already aware, 1 in 3 children in the US are overweight or obese. But what you may not know is that college students are also very affected by this issue. Studies show that during their first year in college, students' overweight and obesity rates often increase by an average of more than 15%. In addition, most college students are not meeting dietary and physical activity guidelines. In fact, studies show that 60% of college students are not getting enough physical activity per day, and 95% of college students are not getting adequate intake of fruits and vegetables. So with that in context, let me tell you a little bit more about the work that PHA does specifically. So as I mentioned previously, PHA works to engage with the private sector to develop meaningful, voluntary commitments that help make the healthy choice the easy choice for parents and families. We take these partnerships really seriously, and the process to become a PHA partner is rigorous. Here you'll see a couple points of what the PHA partner process includes. Each partner must sign a legally binding contract with us, and that contract demonstrates what they've agreed to in the commitment, and that commitment must embody real, meaningful change. Partners must also agree to public accountability and publication of their results in PHA's annual progress report. And lastly, partners must agree to outside verification of their results by an independent third party. As part of this, our partners agree to pay a reasonable cost to facilitate the verification of those results. In spite of these very rigorous standards, we have secured commitments from over 70 private sector partners to date, all of which you'll see on this slide. These include our partners are making healthy choices more accessible and affordable, regardless of where families live, work, or play. These include commitments that affect early child care settings, increase access to healthy, affordable food, improve the nutrient quality of food and beverage options in the marketplace, and increase opportunities for physical activity. To date, PHA partner commitments have affected more than 45 million individuals, which includes more than 5 million kids in all 50 states, DC, and Puerto Rico. In particular, I wanted to highlight in 2013, some of our successes include our partners more than doubling the number of stores and areas that lacked access to healthy, affordable food, and an investment of more than $11 million by our partners to address the physical inactivity epidemic in the United States. PHA has also embraced a sector-wide commitment model to further progress. Our first venture into this approach, and you see a big picture overview of it here, is our Hospital Healthy Food Initiative. In this initiative, instead of negotiating individually with hospital systems, PHA consulted with experts in the field to establish a commitment framework and then work to recruit hospitals to sign on to that commitment, essentially developing an industry-wide standard. To date, since this launched, we have over 700 hospitals that have signed up, which represents over 10% of all hospitals in the country. This work on hospitals was also the catalyst for our Healthier Campus initiative, which I'll talk about now. So PHA's Healthier Campus initiative, with this, we seek to broker commitments with a diverse array of colleges and universities to make their campuses healthier. A year ago, we convened a group of key opinion leaders from colleges, universities, and experts within the field of education and health to help us create a set of evidence-based guidelines. In trying to recognize the unique nature of each campus, the guidelines were created to provide choice in that colleges and universities can choose which guidelines they want to complete, to acknowledge progress made in that the guidelines were created to give credit for existing campus wellness efforts, as well as to challenge colleges and universities to do more than what they're already doing. And then lastly, to allow flexibility in that guidelines are chosen upon joining the initiative, but schools have until the end of the 3-year commitment to fully implement them. So it gives them that flexibility. Specifically around the guidelines, they fall into 3 pillars. First is food and nutrition, which really is guidelines that affect aspects of food service outlets that serve both students and staff. Examples of guidelines under this pillar include identifying healthier options with calorie or healthy icon labeling, offering more fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, or providing healthier vending options. In the physical activity pillar, this really addresses characteristics of the built environment, such as walkability and bikeability of campuses, and also safe and affordable transportation options. Examples here include establishing marked walking routes on campus, offering bike share programs, and increasing access to fitness or recreation centers. We'll also dig a little bit deeper into the specific bicycle components on the next slide. And then lastly, the programming pillar includes programs related to nutrition, physical activity, and wellness that could be instituted on campus. Examples of this include implementing an integrated comprehensive wellness program for students on campus, or offering programs on campus to address things like food insecurity, service learning, or cooking skills. So as I said before, this next slide will show some of the bicycle-specific guidelines, which obviously would be of particular interest to this group. This is just a screenshot from our the actual MOU and the specific guidelines. You'll see a lot of footnotes there, but if you could ignore those for the time being, and I'll just go over the specific components that are outlined with red arrows. So specific to bikes, the provision of bicycle parking spaces is included, offering a bike rental program, provision of designated bike lanes, and then something like implementing a bike ped accommodation policy or recognition program like Bicycle Friendly University. So these are just some of the guidelines that a school could choose from. Generally, if a school achieves bronze level with Bicycle Friendly University, it will meet not only guideline number 6 that you see here on the slide, but potentially also some of the other Healthier Campus initiative guidelines for physical activity. So by participating in both programs, you're already getting a great start. So that's just a very brief overview of the Healthier Campus initiative. So hopefully you may be thinking, why should my school join? Well, by joining the Healthier Campus initiative, colleges and universities are recognized in 3 ways. First, for their commitment to change. By joining, your campus is signing on to complete significant advances in campus wellness over a 3-year period. And our verification process makes sure that that commitment made is a commitment kept. This ensures that wellness efforts are a campus-wide priority among administration and among students. Secondly, network and resources. By participating, your campus will be connected to other leaders in campus wellness and also have the opportunity to share best practices, efforts, and resources. PHA will also provide technical assistance to help the campus fulfill the guidelines that they've chosen. And then lastly is recognition and publicity. In particular, by joining this initial cohort, schools will be recognized as national leaders in campus wellness in a large public announcement that we have slated for the fall of 2014. This is very exciting for us because we feel that PHA has demonstrated broad media reach that will help elevate the announcement. Some examples of this are over the past year, PHA has helped its current partners secure positive coverage in outlets including the Associated Press, Forbes, New York Times, Washington Post, Wall Street Journal, and a wide range of other national, local, and trade publications. In addition, through our hundreds of thousands of followers on Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram, we reach millions of individuals with news and updates every week. So hopefully, listening to all of this, you're very excited about what you've heard so far and want to know about next steps. Our timeline to launch the initiative, right now the Healthier Campus Initiative is pre-launch, so our timeline to launch the initiative is to announce our initial cohort in the fall of 2014 with initial cohorts to follow. If you're interested in learning more, we will be hosting a follow-up webinar in exactly 2 weeks on Wednesday, July 23rd at 3:00 p.m. Eastern. And a link to register for the webinar is on the screen right here, just a bit.ly link, bit.ly/Healthier Campus Initiative. Also, it's going to be posted in the chat box in just a minute. And then in addition, we'll be sending a follow-up email to all attendees with a link to the webinar to sign up and also a link to access the recording of this webinar. We encourage you to start, if you're interested, to start to connect with allies at your university and also invite them to this follow-up webinar, which will help create early buy-in for the initiative and also help you think about what guidelines potentially your school is already doing. And now we'll move into the Q&A portion. So again, please type any questions that you have into the chat box and we'll do our best to answer all of them. If we don't get to answer your question today, we will follow up by email with an answer after the webinar is done.
Okay. So as Lisa just mentioned, one of the questions we got was whether this webinar is being recorded, and it is, and we will send out the final recording in a follow-up email. Another question we received, someone was asking about other urban campuses for bicycle-friendly universities. This is actually a question I get really frequently, so whoever asked this, I would encourage you to send me a follow-up email. This is Amelia, and I would love to connect you with some of the other campuses that have asked the same question. But a few urban campuses that have received the award from us include the University of Illinois at Chicago and Portland State University. Those are probably our two most urban, but we have quite a few urban campuses. Harvard in Cambridge is fairly urban. So there's a good list of urban campuses that I can connect you to, and also campuses who are urban and not yet in the program, but looking to improve. And that is a resource that I can provide, is helping you to connect to other campuses. We also received a few questions about bike parking. Someone asked what the ideal bike to student ratio is. And this is one that's hard to generalize from campus to campus because it will really vary depending on whether you're a commuter campus or a campus with a lot of students living on campus in dormitories. And then the function of the building will also change what the ideal ratio is. So if it's a residential building versus a classroom building versus a cafeteria, for example, will change quite a bit. So we prefer to see a ratio of 1 parking space to every 4 students at a minimum, and the lower that ratio is, the better. But I think 1 to 4 is the sort of generalized answer for campuses, given all of the caveats that I just mentioned. Someone else asked how bicycle parking differs from bike racks. I used the term bicycle parking in the presentation earlier, and this is really the same thing, but parking can also include bicycle lockers and other types of storage that are not your traditional bike rack. Another thing I wanted to just mention, on our application, we ask about bicycle parking spaces. And we get questions every once in a while about what that means as opposed to racks. And bicycle parking spaces are how many bikes can be accommodated by your bike parking. So if you have one of those U-shaped bicycle racks, that will fit 2 bikes, or it's meant for 2 bikes. So that is 2 spaces. So if you're filling out the application and wondering how to respond to those questions, think about how many bikes are accommodated by the various types of bike parking you have. All right, next question.
In terms of how to be able to sign up for the Healthier Campus Initiative, this is Sarah John, and the best way, next step forward, would be to go ahead and feel free to email me. My email is on the screen right now at sjohn@ahealthieramerica.org. And as we mentioned earlier, we also will have a follow-up webinar that has more details on the entirety of the initiative, and feel free to invite any other interested or relevant colleagues to that as well.
So we have a question about secure bike parking for community colleges. Yeah, secure bike parking, bike lockers are definitely secure, and they're a good way to be extremely secure when you don't have enough volume for an attendant. You can also look at bicycle cages where there might be a key card access, or some other type of way that only people who have signed up to use this room or space, or even a cage sort of near car parking, for example, those are good ways, and you can certainly add a camera to those as well to make them even more secure. Yeah, and I think also just making sure, even if you have very basic outdoor bike parking or indoor covered bike parking, making sure that it is up to the standards of the APBP guidelines. That's the Association of Bicycle and Pedestrian Professionals, and they have guidelines on bicycle parking that's very helpful. And that would actually also, I should have mentioned it earlier when we were talking about the ratio of bike parking. They talk about quantity as well in their more in-depth version of those guidelines. But for racks that you have on campus, making sure that, for example, it has 2 contact points where the bike can be locked to, and is secure in the ground so that the rack itself can't be stolen. Those types of considerations also help to make sure that your bike parking is as secure as possible. Yeah, the printable check, someone asked about a printable checklist of the application questions, and we have a PDF on our website at bikeleague.org, and we also have the Word version of that PDF I can email you. So if you send me an email to request the Word version, I can email that out as well.
Someone also just asked if we had any plans to visit campuses this summer in terms of Partnership for a Healthier America and the Healthier Campus Initiative. And although we currently don't, I would recommend just to, again, reach out via email, and we can establish some next steps in terms of at least starting with a phone call.
Someone asked another clarifying question about the ratio of bike parking to students, and the question is, would 1 to 4 bike parking be on total enrollment or campus residency? And for that, I would consider total enrollment. And again, this is where bringing in someone to look at your campus and consider the different needs of the specific buildings on campus, and different areas of campus will vary drastically from campus to campus. So when I said 1 to 4, I meant total enrollment, but that, again, that's a generalization, and each campus is unique. Sorry, sorry I can't be more specific, but it is hard to generalize that one. We got a question, is it logical to assume that urban colleges have shared resources with the city they are embedded in? We have very little engineering control over the city, and the city is a bronze bicycle-friendly community. So yes, if you are in a community that has bicycle infrastructure that technically falls on your campus, even if the campus does not have control over it, those different features should be included in your application. This goes for things like transit, the bike racks on buses, for example. The school doesn't have to be the primary owner or controller of the buses, but if your students are using those buses and the buses have bike racks, then yes, by all means, include it. For infrastructure, we actually ask on the application what percentage of your so we ask for total mileage of roadway network on your campus, and then we ask for the total mileage that the college or university has control over. So we'll get that percentage of how much the campus actually controls, and we take that into consideration. That being said, even if you don't control or have direct ownership over the roads on your campus, there's a great opportunity to partner with your community and advocate for improved bicycle infrastructure, letting them know that the student, staff, and faculty who are using their roads on your campus are interested in improved and safer bike facilities.
Someone else asked, what is the cost for the Healthier Campus Initiative? And again, this is Sarah John speaking, and it will vary between college and university, although I will say that we've worked very hard to keep the cost as low and reasonable as possible. And if you have any more specific questions around that, please just go ahead and shoot me an email at sjohn@ahealthieramerica.org.
And this is Lisa Crichton. We should just clarify, those costs are just for the verification costs of the program, but please contact Sarah for more information.
Someone asked, what is the most used and politically popular dedicated funding source for universities? This is a tough one. This is probably the biggest challenge. I used to work in bicycle infrastructure and planning at a university, so I know from experience that this can be a challenge. But having a dedicated source from within the university is ideal. I think the most successful models I've seen are ones where car parking fees help fund bicycle infrastructure along with all other types of transportation projects on campus. That being said, looking for funding elsewhere in the campus can include sustainability funds, wellness funds, campus recreation funds, student activities fees, and then also looking outside the school. Public health districts are one source at the local and county and state level. And then looking for grants, various types of public and private grants that exist.
Another question is, someone asked if there's coordination and collaboration between PHA's Healthier Campus Initiative and American College Health Association's Healthy Campus 2020 initiative. And there definitely is. We are aware that there's a lot of fantastic work being done in this wellness space. And we have been in conversations and feel like the Healthy Campus 2020 work is important and significant and really pairs well with the Healthier Campus Initiative, and would be again glad to discuss more detail around the individual guidelines and how that work complements if you're just to reach out and contact us. And we can definitely touch on that more as well on the upcoming webinar in 2 weeks. And I believe that has been all of the questions. If anyone has any lingering questions, now would be a great time to send those out. And we'll just wait a couple minutes to see if there are any others. Oh, and it's on the screen right now. However, I will, Amelia and I both can say our emails out loud. So to contact Bicycle Friendly University, Amelia Neptune, her email is amelia MELIA at bikeleague.org, and to contact Partnership for a Healthier America and the Healthier Campus Initiative, you can contact myself, Sarah John, at SJOHN at ahealthieramerica.org. And we'll make sure and send a follow-up email with that information in it as well as a recording of the webinar, just in case anyone did miss any portion of it.
So I believe this question is for the BFU application. For items on the application that are pending, which we plan on implementing in the upcoming year, should we check them off on the application? I would say if you're absolutely positive they're going to happen, and they're going to happen very soon, you can check them. But if there's any question at all, I wouldn't check the box, but I would instead check the other box, and that will make a field pop up where you can explain your answer. And I think that's a great place to explain that in the next year we plan to do this pending budget, yada yada. So I think using those other boxes as opportunity to tell us about your upcoming plans, and that's really the best way to make sure that the application is accurate and we have a good sense of exactly what is existing on your campus at the time of application. We have another question. If you do not have an adopted bicycle master plan, but it is completed, does that count against the application? Again, that's an area where I would clarify. I'd say you can check the box saying we have a bicycle master plan, but make a note in the nearest text field that it is completed but not yet approved or adopted, and maybe list the date of completion. And we ask for a link to the plan. So if it's not adopted, I assume that it's not online, but if there's a way to share it with us anyway, and again, clarifying that it's in draft form or not yet adopted, just to be very clear so that we understand the status of it. There's another question. For bike count efforts on campus, do universities need a specific set of time slots to conduct counts? So bike counts can happen a lot of different ways. Again, this is an area where technology can be your friend, and getting sort of high-tech bike counters on campus is certainly the most accurate way, but getting a group of volunteers together to do specific counts at specific intersections where there's a high traffic at certain times of day, and having those repeated over time so that you can track differences and maybe account for any outliers. We do have some resources at bikeleague.org on bike counts, and you'll find links to other organizations that have a lot of really great info about this topic, and also some resources of our own that I think can be helpful with bike count efforts. Cool, thank you.
I think we're all done with Q&A now. So again, as Sarah mentioned, the email addresses are on your screen, and we'll be sending out a link to this recording of the webinar, as well as a link to the webinar next week for the Healthier Campus Initiative. So we want to thank everyone for joining, and have a great day.